Well, Democratic presidential candidate John Delaney is now calling on moderate Republicans to run against President Trump in 2020. Delaney saying, quote, voices like John Kasich and Governor Hogan would do an enormous service to not just their party, but to their fellow Americans to stand up and challenge this president. So do Democrats really need moderate Republicans to take down the president in 2020? Here now to debate it is Republican strategist Kimberly Klacik and Democratic strategist Jonathan Harris. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
So, Kimberly, I will start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't think the Democrats are only just desperate. It seems to me that they're getting really nervous. I mean, imagine being a left voter here in 2019. You're watching helplessly as your party embraces socialism, anti-Semitism, killing of babies, illegal immigrants' rights over yours. So I think Delaney is smart in saying, hey, why don't we embrace some of the moderate Republicans? I mean, Governor Hogan, he hasn't said whether or not he will race, but he makes no qualms about it. He does not like Trump whatsoever. But to me, Delaney is listening to his base and probably a really bad poker player because he's showing his entire hand.
All right, Jonathan?
I would say that it's less that and maybe him looking forward for the party and saying, look, at some point or another, the GOP is going to have to reckon with Donald Trump's not going to be in office forever, whether he survives impeachment, whether he gets elected to a second term, at some point or another, he's not going to be in office, and the GOP is going to have to reckon with the fact that the American voting populace leans left. Donald Trump, whether he won the election in 2016 or not, was not able to convince the majority of the American public that he was the best option. And the Republicans keep losing the popular vote by a larger and larger margin. At some point or another, you're going to have to move closer to the center. And I think that's what he's suggesting, is maybe you should try a more moderate candidate like Kasich was in 2016.
Do you think, Kimberly, that we will see more of the Democratic candidates becoming more moderate as the campaign moves along?
I mean, we might see some try, but unfortunately it seems that the Democrats are really embracing socialism and extreme rhetoric. I mean, I don't know how Democrats get back from this. And to Jonathan's point, if the Democrats are trying to give us points over here on the conservative side, I think that's hilarious because we're the ones that won in 2016, and I don't see us having a problem in 2020.
Well, speaking of those candidates, on the trail in Nevada, Kirsten Gillibrand slamming President Trump, saying that we need a brave president who will pass the Green New Deal. So let's listen to what she had to say, and then, Jonathan, I'll get your response.
Sure.
Can you remember the last president that was brave? Let's dream big. Let's pass a Green New Deal. Why not say we will have net zero carbon emissions in 10 years? We don't know if we can achieve that. President Kennedy didn't know if he could get the man on the moon, but he knew we should try.
Jonathan?
You know, I think that the reality is the Green New Deal might be a little more left than maybe some of the party is, but definitely addressing climate change is something that both parties used to agree on. This didn't used to be a controversial or partisan issue. And I think when she's asking for a brave president, I mean, what has Trump said on climate change? What has he said to even address the issue at all? And there's radio silence basically from the right when you ask them that question. So I don't think it's difficult or wrong for her to ask for a president that wants to take that on.
Kimberly, are you going to give us radio silence, or what do you have to say about it?
No, not at all. But imagine going to the border where immigration is such a hot topic and making a stink about the weather. I mean, if we have money for this Green New Deal, then we definitely have money for a solid barrier across the border. And to me, Gillibrand, just like Senator Warren, is great at pandering. And to me also, I think Gillibrand makes a great case for voter ID laws. I mean, she's already talked about how she wants illegal immigrants to have rights. I mean, she honestly, I don't see her winning, but what she's talking about to me is very scary, and I hope we do pass something as far as showing ID at the polls.
I mean, when you're talking about the Green New Deal, what was it, like $93 trillion, the cost of it? So I don't know.
But I mean, that's kind of an example. I basically heard radio silence. It wasn't, oh, here's what Trump's plan is on climate change. It's let's talk about the border wall. That's what I meant.
All right. Well, it's just the beginning.
We're talking about national security instead of the weather. I don't think that's wrong.
Just the beginning of the campaign. So things will definitely change. Kimberly and Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Have a good day.